Jerry, how you doing this morning, Jerry?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
It's the end of the year, and I thought it would be really important to talk about some of the successes we've had with product prep and share this with our automotive community. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea, and I noticed that we're going to talk about some successes. That's what you just said.
Yeah, like a case study, some successes, things
Are
that
we going to like? We've had so many of them, though.
we have, but we've got to pick one, and I think we should go
Okay.
alphabetical, and let's start with Ashley. A.
Well, Ashley is alphabetical, but she is one of our first
That
true
too.
successes.
That too. So I thought it was a good fit to pick Ashley Rogers. She was a finance manager at a New York-based store,
She
Cadillac
still is a
GM.
finance manager at a New
Yes.
York-based store.
Well, there's a difference between what she was and what she is. That's why, sorry. She is a finance manager. She's a very successful finance manager now, but when we first met her a couple years ago, she was struggling.
Yeah, she was an administrator who became a finance manager.
Right.
Right.
Right. So let's take a look at Ashley. She was kind of new, getting started, and
Yeah,
she
she
needed some
was.
help. And in less than 2 months, she increased her PVR by $1,700 per copy.
I know. I was there. I was part of it.
You are. So
She
this
was
is Ashley.
she was very shy, very intimidated by the whole process.
It's funny you mentioned shy because I think one of the things that stands out to me about Ashley was how she used word tracks to open up conversations with customers. And that's one of the critical elements that made her successful as a finance manager.
There's no question about it. I mean, the word tracks are what actually put her on the map, but more importantly, gave her the confidence to hang in there with the customer.
Yeah. All right. So where was she? She was seeing about 45 deals a month, and she was averaging $610. We looked this up through Darwin. She was
Hmm.
averaging $610 a copy and averaging, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think zero point 0.8 products per deal, less than one product per deal.
Yeah, she was less than one product per deal,
Yeah.
and then she increased that quite a bit. I think in the first 90 days we were talking because we did some personal training with her. That was another thing
Yeah.
we did with her that was really cool. We did it on a bi-weekly basis. And it was an open forum. And every time that we get her online, we talk about the challenges she had, the obstacles that she met, and we talked about overcoming them. Talked more about word tracks,
We
and
did. Talked about product knowledge. We talked about how
yep,
to present. You said many times confidence allows you to sell, right? And to have that confidence, you need the knowledge, you need the
yep.
word tracks, practice, drill, and rehearse, right?
One of the nice practice drill and rehearse. One of the nice things about Ashley, every time we got on those webinars, I would say like her confidence is building, her confidence is building, and
I
it's
mean
off
that.
the charts now. I mean, she's just like she's a veteran now. I think I've known her for what now 4 years,
Yeah.
and she's like just she's tops.
Yeah. So right now she's seeing 80 deals a month, which is double what she was, and she's averaging 23.80 per copy today. That's a 90-day average, by the way. So someone she does a little bit better, which is a wonderful improvement. And like you said, she's a professional finance manager, a veteran, if you will.
Well, it's funny because when we first met her, I think she was driving a Toyota. Now she's driving a Porsche
Or an
or
F-150.
Land
I
Rover.
don't know.
She's
Something.
driving a Land Rover.
That's it. That's it.
That's right, Land
All right.
Rover.
So all right. To stream this down, simplify this for viewers here. What was Ashley's problem specifically?
She wasn't doing word tracks, and the thing was she was winging it every time, and it was a lot of old school tactics where I call it verbal vomit, just spilling her guts all over everybody and not making any sense. Nothing was relevant to the customer sitting in front of her. And she wasn't doing like a full-blown menu presentation. She was like skipping over this, skipping over that, and selecting the products that she wanted to sell. And the first thing that she developed was a menu word track, where she developed a word track. We often talk about what these products do, and we drilled that into her head was what do these products do? It's simple. They pay for this and they pay for that for a certain period of time. And once she grasped that, her presentation was reduced to under 90 seconds. Her description of the products was all about pays for this and pays for that. And she's one of those F&I managers, seriously, that loves asking which option works best for you.
Yeah.
One of the things I recall, Damien, way, a few years back with Ashley is we introduced a maintenance program to them, remember?
I do.
And she felt the maintenance program really set the stage for the customer buying more. It was almost to the point where, a lot of F&I managers complain about a maintenance program not having enough profit in it, not doing anything for them. But she saw it as a benefit to getting customers committed, not only to business at the dealership, but to committed to her. That's how she explained it. And she would give it away, basically, for no profit, just to get the customer thinking about more options. And that was one of her success stories that she kept bringing up to us, that the maintenance program was one of those things that she called it the glue,
She
if you
did.
recall,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
No, that's right. Which is a perfect example of why the right word track is so important, right? She would ask that question, then she would use that as a tool, and then she would have increased sales, right?
Right. Like, how often do you like to maintain your vehicle? And how many miles a year you drive? Let's set it up properly. And how long you plan on keeping the car? And that gave her the man. I'm surprised you had no interest in the vehicle service contract, knowing you're driving the car for 18,000 miles a year and going to keep it for 4 or 5 years. What was it about the service contract that concerned you? And the next thing you know, she's in a
Right.
conversation with the customer and her penetration. Do you happen to know that number by any chance, Damien?
I believe currently she's over two products per deal currently,
Right.
and 2,300 per copy.
That's awesome. But you don't know what her service contract penetrations are right now.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
I know she does a lot of leases there, so to do 2 products per deal is pretty strong.
It is. You're right.
Very strong.
It is very strong. All right. So what process did Ashley go through in order to make that improvement? She was committed. She definitely used the resources. She participated in the webinars. In a couple hours per week, she was able to accomplish that, right? I mean, it doesn't seem that hard, right? Anyone can do it.
It's not anyone can do it. It's what you said, the commitment. I mean, we committed to her to do 2 workshops, like 2 hours a month. We do 2 workshops, Zoom meetings, get her online. She committed to each one of those, even on her day off. And sometimes she was late for work. We'd start it in the car and ended at the dealership.
You're right.
So
Yeah.
she was committed to that, and we did that for 2 years straight. And then visits from your team into the store, frequent calls from me, her visiting, getting on the webinars to the point where she's at 23 and change a car right now, selling over 2 products per deal. And one of the very last webinars we did not too long ago, she said, "Can we start the personal trainings again? I want to learn more."
Yeah. Which is great. The product prep
Right.
system allows a learner to find their weaknesses through our AI proprietary learning system, and those weaknesses through practice, drill, rehearse, through some of the quizzes, through some of the what do we have? 110, 120 hours
Well,
of
we have at least 115 right now. I can tell you that right now. And by the way, huh? What are those 115 hours of video, all that work we put into, all the stuff that Todd did in the back end and everything. And we shared that with everybody at the Agent Summit this year. And what ended up happening?
I think we won the innovation challenge for 23.
I think we did. I
Yeah.
think we did. And we're going to get a cover on the cover of the Rolling Stone. I mean, F&I magazine.
Same thing. Same thing.
It is the same thing in my
Different
mind because I'm
circles.
going to
Same
save
thing,
5
different
copies and send them
circles.
to my mother.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and one note, which I'll show you in a minute, is that each one of those live recorded webinars that cover specific topics have one of your associated presentations that are downloadable into a PDF that have a process, a word track, and things you can follow along with, which is an invaluable resource.
Exactly.
So, Gerry, I mean, we've been doing this for 4 years now. I think we have over 300 dealerships that are signed up actively using product prep. So we have many case studies like you had mentioned. And I think there's a lot of different ways that finance managers are leaving money on the table. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, just think of the last time, finance managers out there, think of the last time that you had a customer sitting there and said, "Can I think about it?" What did you say to them? Or they said, "I want to take my chances." What did you say to them? When was the last time you couldn't handle an objection or a rebuttal? Now think about that. One of the biggest challenges I see F&I managers having today, one of the biggest mistakes they make is they don't learn how to handle customers' resistance to the programs they offer, thereby making them verbal vomit all over the customer, telling them all the reasons why. And think about the last time that you gave a wonderful presentation, which you thought was a wonderful presentation, explained all the benefits of the programs to your customer, and they looked at it and said, "Nah, I'm all set." Where did you go from there?
That's right. That's
Because you
exactly
had
right.
no basis to go anywhere. Because you
Ex-
didn't do an introduction.
Right, exactly. Or the interview, right, which is so important. Was the last time you actually used the interview as a closing tool?
Well, you don't use it as a closing tool. You lose what was learned during the interview as a closing tool.
Sorry,
Because you
yes.
get the, hey, man, you mentioned to me earlier that you drive this car 15,000 miles a year, keeping it cut till the wheels fall off. What is it about the service contract that concerns you? I couldn't help but notice when we did the trade appraisal, the sales consultant said that you had dogs hanging out in the back because there's a bunch of fur back there. This fabric and paint treatment is going to ease the burden when you go to trade the vehicle in next time. Those are these are the things we teach off the wall stuff. How about the insurance, right? The riskometer. If someone has $200 deductible, they're less risk takers than the person that has $1,000 deductible. So why do we ask these questions during an introduction? We don't just tell you what to do. We tell you the reasons why. Because you want to ask the customer what's your insurance deductible, because you want to determine, do you have a risky customer here or a non-risky customer?
There you go.
So
You know,
why?
one thing that you mentioned, just to go back to Ashley's case study, that always stands out to me is that she brought this tool of using an annuity analogy to the service contract,
I
right?
almost forgot that, Damon. Like people say, well, I'm not going to keep the car that long. Ashley would say to them, it's like having a savings account. Okay. You pay $3,500 for the service contract, trade the car in 2 years. You're going to get, maybe $2,000 back, $1,800, and apply it to the next vehicle or apply it to the next service contract. And what if you do decide to keep this car for a long period of time? And these are word tracks. These are rebuttals. We often talk about word tracks. Why are word tracks so important? Okay. I'm not a word track guy, but I believe in word tracks. Let me explain what I mean, Damien. Word tracks put you on the right track. Okay. They put you on, it's a roadmap to success. And you have to personalize and memorize the word tracks to your personality. But more importantly, it's not so much the word track, it's the message behind the word track that matters. And if you can explain that message, you look at these word tracks, you don't have to, verbalize them and memorize them completely, just the meaning behind them. And that's one of the things that confidence builds, that ability to do that. And that's one of the things that Ashley did. She studied the word tracks to a point where she could probably almost write her own. And that's the level you got to get if you want to become a real pro and make a ton of money in this business.
I agree. And we have many more free case studies on the next slide that we can
Yeah.
go over. Um, but in order to do that, you got to book a call with us, right?
Book a call, baby. Book a call. That's what it's
Yeah,
all about. You want
exactly.
to learn more. You want to have some fun. You want to join the party. You want to sell more in 24. You got to visit WW Product Prep, man. Prod Prep.
We have a lot of great giveaways, a lot of great resources there.
Why don't you tell us about the resources? I'm not gonna say you're the tech guy and I'm the training guy, because you're becoming as good of a trainer as I am. But with all the stuff
Definitely
you
not.
learned from me.
Definitely not. It's going to take at least another 7 years, but
All right.
maybe.
Well, we got 7 years to go. But tell everybody what they get on Prod Prep.
Yeah, listen, it's a no-brainer. People think we're crazy for offering it, but the videos, the presentations, the word tracks, the case studies that we have available are invaluable. In my opinion, I don't think there's another resource out there in the automotive business that can bring this to the table for finance managers, salespeople, and sales managers, right?
There isn't, Damien. I mean, I've been in this business, a long, long time. I don't want to tell you. I started in 1979, so figure it out. But I remember when there was the dealership in a box Chrysler came out with, and love Grant Cardone, the David Lewis's, all videos telling people what to do. One of the things about product prep that I love the most is that we send a message live, and it's fun, it's exciting. There's enthusiasm. It's not just someone behind a camera just telling people what to do. It's like we give the slides, we give the reasons why, we make it fun, we crack a lot of jokes. It's entertaining stuff, and it's through the repetitiveness, consistent message we send that we've grown. I mean, there's over 300 F&I managers in this country that have experienced growth, and I'll say at least 25% growth because of what we provide to them. just in the videos alone, you
Yeah,
know?
and another good point of what to expect in product prep is that in addition to all the resources that you can access on your own, the live, as you just mentioned, the live component is incredibly valuable because you get feedback from other people. That annuity thing from Ashley, one of the other finance managers, gave us the cycles close for VSCs, right? This
Yeah.
is great feedback. So you get these resources from the community that really help to improve everyone.
How about the time Tom told us about the cell phone charger on his desk,
That's
and how
pretty
he
good.
uses that as a
I
prop?
still use that.
And then the picture frame on the desk, that has the tire and wheel coverages in it and all that stuff. We learn all this stuff. It's an open forum, and if you're not shy, you get to share your experiences and your progressions on these webinars. It's unbelievable.
So who are we, other than a couple of guys with gray hair?
Well, I've been doing this, like I said, for 1979 in the automobile business. I ran the Florida region for AutoNation for 5 years. Prior to that is with David Lewis. That's where I really learned to train. And then for the past 15 years, I've been a national trainer going all over the country. So I'm kind of like a guy that's been in the box that turned an educator. I don't like to call myself a trainer. I like to call myself a coach. Certainly, if you're new to the business, I'm a trainer, but I'm coaching a lot of people. We're coaching a lot of people through product prep. And Damon, you've been in this business a long, long time too. You were started in sales as well. How long ago?
I did 22 years ago. Jerry, how
So we're
many
talking over
people?
75 years of experience here.
That's a long time. That's
That's a
like,
really long time.
yeah. How many people do you think you've impacted in the course of your training career?
And just my certifications alone, there's probably 300 to 400. Seriously.
Wow.
And just and those 4 day certifications I did in the past, and then all of a sudden the pandemic came along. But I think through our webinars and on-site training and everything, you can add another 300 to 400 to that. So there's probably, I don't keep track. I did, I don't now, but I'm sure there's close to 1,000 F&I managers across this country that I've assisted or that I've shared information in order for them to increase their back end or their PVR
And
immensely.
and and talking specifics on that, I think we talked about a 25% increase in finance productivity, whether it's product penetration or PVR. That was a guarantee that we offered if you're committed, if you can follow the process that we have laid out in product prep, and you join the system.
There was absolutely no question about it. If you join product prep and you follow the processes and you committed to the bi-weekly webinars and the material that's on product prep, you become part of the 25% club. It's guaranteed. In fact, I think I'm willing to give up my playbook to those who contact us, just an inquiry. We'll give up the F&I playbook, which tells you F&I from A to Z, from the introduction all the way to the which option works best for you. And then you'll be seeking out more, and then you'll become a product prep part of the family.
That's pretty wild, Jerry. That's
What do
pretty
you
wild.
think? You think we should do that?
I think uh, I think people will be blown away to see it.
I think you're right.
Okay, so let's quickly go over what product prep is, right?
Okay.
Um, Product prep is a resource center. It is how would you just describe product prep?
Product prep is a full-fledged dealership front end, and we're going to get into service eventually. We're starting to dabble in BDC, but we have everything you need for compliance and everything you need for sales management, F&I training and coaching. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the go-to website. There's absolutely no question about it. I've been doing this, like I said, almost 40 years, and I got to tell you something. There is nothing out there even remotely close to what we have to offer.
Yeah, and Product Prep Live, not only do we have access for everything that you've created, this incredible video here, which is 1 minute, kind of breaks that down, which
Mhm.
we like, but there's over, I think, 100 courses of product knowledge, sales process, BDC process, case studies, cheat sheets, in addition to the live component and the recordings.
One of the nice things about this is you can keep track of what your people are doing from F&I through sales management. You can keep track of what they're watching, what they're learning, the certifications that they have. We have one of the nice things about this, Gerry Gould and Associates, you got Gerry Gould. And then AFib, You got Shannon Robinson. I mean, you got the guys that, I mean, these are the guys that you communicate with. They're not hidden behind a curtain and sending other reps out there to talk to. You got Damien. I mean, you got the builders, and you build this. We built this ourselves.
That's right. Yeah,
This
nothing
is
is
the,
outsourced. There's no other component. The software is owned by us. And just to kind of let's take a look at the back end just to show what you were talking about. So when you log into Product Prep, you have a dashboard that tells you everything that's going on. You can see the progression through all of your courses and learning paths. You can join to your where you stopped learning. You can continue your course. You can see all of your courses, any live events that you have coming up, and all of your certifications. So if you have a certification, you can download that. That's the accountability part. And in the
but
courses,
also when you talk about accountability, not only can the individual that signed up for the product prep, but your administrators, your dealer principals, your general managers, your agents, all the folks that are assisting you in your progression can look at what you've been doing as well.
exactly. There's a very robust reporting section, an engagement section, and that's when we start getting into the AI of how we nudge learners along through courses, how we inform everyone as a team who's doing what, and how we process certifications based on passing the test. And in the learning section, you've got this looks like you, Gerry. Is that you? It is you.
Yeah, I think that is me. Yeah.
Training for sales. Training for sales
191,
management.
197 lessons, 201 lessons, 211 lessons. That's a
Right.
lot of lessons,
A
man.
lot of lessons.
But they're very short lessons, right?
They are. They are. They're, 30 to 40 to 50 minutes. They're specific topics, um, talking about getting past the no, menu options, excess wear, elevate performance on VSCs. I mean, this is going back a while, Gerry. We're talking March of 2020, which is when we started. Pandemic. So
The
yes, you have access
pathway to
to
F&I
courses.
success. We're running out of titles.
I know we are, really. So you've got the product prep um content product knowledge, you've got the live component, we've got the Gerry Gould resources, we've got compliance with AFIP. We also have the FRAT program with ADCO, which is a regulation training, all required federal regulations for automotive departments, sales, BDC, HR, fixed ops, management. All of these federal regulations are required to be trained on annually. ADCO put together a killer, simple, easy to use program that will walk you through all of that, which is really awesome.
It is awesome, man.
It is
You know,
awesome.
you know what the nice thing about this whole thing is, Damon? Through the years, there's more to come.
Well, we're
I mean,
always,
get in early, man. Get in while it's hot because there's more to come.
yeah,
You
we have
know,
a lot of users. We have 38,000 certifications issued through all of the users over the years. There are 7,500 active users. We have 30 dealership, 300 dealerships. That's not bad, not too shabby.
pretty strong. It's pretty strong. It's awesome. Awesome.
It is. Um, Again, we offer compliance, training, front end, back end, working on service, like you mentioned. How do
And
we
one
do
thing
a
you got to
live
keep in
demo?
mind, this isn't just F&I. It's sales, sales management, and F&I. It's all about the team, the front end team. We're going BDC. We're going to get into service, and there's more. Like I said, there's more to come. With the relationships we built through the years in the industry, we have a lot of people that are buying into what we're doing, and they want to join in on the family. And we're going to give more as 2004 rolls around.
How long is a demo of product prep going to take, Gerry? If I'm a listener, how much do I gotta invest here to find out what's going
Damien,
on?
I think you do a really good job in 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You really do. I've seen the nice thing about the demos that you do is you start them out and they go for about 10 minutes and then into the 15 minutes people want more.
Well, there's a lot to go through, you know?
I want more. I want more. But they want more. It's not like they go, "Oh, this is boring. Get me out of here," you know.
Yeah,
Really cool stuff, man. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this stuff is ridiculous
it is.
in a good way.
Yeah, compliance prep, we can demo the same way. It's very user friendly. Navigating through the modules is simple, and we can show you how learning paths. There's a lot of really cool features that we can set up with the AI to make things accessible. We can target learning courses specific to sales, specific to BDC, so your job title. It's all really cool, and it's not difficult and easy to manage as well. Same thing with the frat program. Um, And yeah, I think if you call for a demo, can walk you through in 10 or 15 minutes, give you some of the resources, which is an incredible giveaway, and start making the magic happen.
Oh, by the way, are we giving something away?
We are the playbook.
So if someone contacts us, gives us the information,
Yeah.
we're going to email them a PDF copy of our playbook.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a lot of information. It's loaded with like 80 pages.
That's a lot of information, Jerry.
That's right.
Immediate access.
Or you can skip the free one and just join product prep and get everything.